Hello. Thank you for coming to art. I know this online thing is a little new for us, so if you have a question about what we're doing, please feel free to go to your team, our classroom team, and post a question there. If you have a comment, a suggestion, you just want to say hi, go there. I'm going to be there most of the time, so I'll reply to you quickly. Now, for today's art lesson, I want to go to a country called Japan. Yeah, Japan is a fantastic place. The Japanese people are very, very creative people. Now, one artwork that they love to make is an artwork that everybody in Japan does, and that's called the art of origami. Origami is when you take a piece of paper and you fold it and you create a sculpture. Now, I'm sure you've heard of origami and you've probably even seen examples of origami. But how can we learn more about origami? Well, I want to show you a video. We're going to see the first part of an origami documentary. In the following weeks, we're going to see other parts of the video. After the first part that we're going to see now, we're going to make our first origami sculpture, our first origami folding artwork. It's going to be a fish, so stick around for that. But now, let's go watch the video. Come on.
Origami, the traditional Japanese art of creating objects by folding paper. From children to the elderly, origami is enjoyed by people of all ages. With roots in religious rituals and social etiquette, it expresses many facets of Japanese culture. Origami techniques have even been used in space. And recently, an alternative to 3D printing that uses origami has been developed. This time on Japanology Plus, our theme is origami. We'll see why the art of folding paper has long had such a special place in Japanese hearts.
Hello and welcome to Japanology Plus. I'm Peter Barakan. Today I'm in the neighborhood of Yushima, which is in central Tokyo, in an area that has a lot of schools and colleges and cultural facilities. And I'm standing in front of a place called the Origami Center. It's a 6-story building that has exhibition spaces, classrooms, and as you can see, a little shop here in the entrance. This kimono here is made entirely of paper, although that's not origami. I don't think I've ever seen a single sheet of paper big enough to fold something like that. But these little paper windmills down here and these morning glories here are all made using origami technique. Now, of course, Japan is by no means the only country in the world where people make things out of paper. But the fact that the word origami is so well known around the world is an indication of how famous this paper folding art has become. So let's start off with a look at what it's all about.
A classic pastime that practically everyone in Japan has enjoyed at some point, origami is the art of folding paper into countless different shapes. A crane with wings spread wide. A frog in the water. Flowers like the iris and the lotus. Even a samurai helmet. In origami, all these items and more are made without scissors or paste, just single sheets of paper folded in various ways to create 3-dimensional objects. Paper for origami is usually square and colored. The paper itself is also referred to as origami. Origami paper is widely sold in Japanese stationery and toy shops in a vast range of patterns, from traditional motifs to modern Western ones, with matte or glossy finishes. Bookshops have whole shelves dedicated to books about origami. These teach you how to make all sorts of forms, from the very simple to the extremely complex. Origami is popular among children, of course, but plenty of grown-ups enjoy it as well. From intricate patterns incorporating paper cranes to items that combine various coloured sheets of paper, to highly realistic models of animals. There's no limit to the sophistication of origami creations. Some origami works are as good as sculptures, like this one depicting a falling cat. Here's another unique piece. It appears to be a potted tree, about as tall as a person. But take a closer look. Its flowers are tiny origami cranes. Each one is just 8 millimeters tall. More than 10,000 cranes were folded from squares of paper 18 millimeters on a side to create this piece, which is called Crane Tree. It was the art school graduation project of Naoki Onogawa. It took him 4 months, during which he folded cranes for 10 hours a day. Origami can be used to make items that are functional as well as beautiful. But either way, it's long been part of everyday life in Japan.
And my guest on the program today is actually the director of the Origami Center, Mr. Kazuo Kobayashi. Nice to meet you. Thank you very much for being with us today.
I'm glad to be here.
お世話になります。
Kazuo Kobayashi is actively engaged in the daily running of the center. He not only teaches classes, he often offers origami demonstrations to people visiting the center shop. He is also the director of a non-profit called the International Origami Center. Kobayashi is constantly involved in promoting origami around Japan and across the globe. Although he only speaks Japanese, he uses origami as a universal language to reach people of all cultures.
Here's something I can make with a single sheet of paper. Women love this wherever I go in the world. No words needed.
I've got no idea what this is going to be. And this always slays them wherever you go.
That's right. From orphanages to senior citizen homes, at all kinds of places, it captivates people. Their eyes always light up at this one.
That's pretty good.
Not bad, eh?
Inside the Origami Center is this paper dyeing workshop. Kobayashi is in fact the 4th generation heir of a family that's been making hand-dyed Japanese paper in the heart of Tokyo for more than 150 years.
How interesting, huh? Japan is such a different place with such a different culture and such different interests, but they are very creative. Now, there is more to this documentary, to this video that we saw. We're going to see that in the following week, so don't worry, there will be more. For now, let's start our project. Before I show you how to do the origami folding fish, go ahead and collect the following materials. You're going to need, for this project, at least 1 piece of paper. Now, I've got printer paper. See, this is the white printer paper that we use to print out our copies, right? Now, I've got 2. You could start with 1 if you want to, but you should have another one because we can do more of these fish. Along with this paper, you're going to need a ruler, scissors, and a pen or a pencil. Now later on, you could even get yourself some colors. I've got some color pencils that I'm going to use, but you can use crayons, you can use markers, you can use paint, even if you have that. All right, so let's get started. Let's make our origami fish. Okay, so you should have your paper, you should have your scissors, a pen or a pencil, and a ruler. If you've got a long ruler, that'll be better. But if you don't have a long ruler, you can have a short one. It'll work fine. So let's put this aside and let's go to the first step. Now, there's a little secret that most people don't know about origami, and that is that the paper should always be a square. Now, if you look at the printer paper, is it a square? No, it's a rectangle shape, right? So we've got to make our paper into a square. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to take your paper and carefully fold it in half. Now, the more precise or accurate that you are, the better your origami is going to come out. So try not to be sloppy. Don't fold it like this, because you see the corners don't meet. You see how my corners are not meeting? I want you to try to do your best and take your time. There's no hurry. Go ahead and align those corners as close as you can. Now, if your corners are just a little bit off, it's no big deal. It's no big deal. But you want to be as close as you can. Now that you've got it folded in half, we are going to turn this into a square, and we're going to need our trusty ruler. I'm going to use a pencil. I like using a pencil because if I make a mistake, I can always erase it. Also, if I want to remove a line because I've already used it, and as you're going to see, it's going to happen in this example, the pencil line can be erased, whereas the pen, you can't. But if you don't have a pencil, you should at least have a pen, and you can use that. All right, so I want you to measure this end of your paper, the short end, not the long end, the short end. And if you notice, it measures 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5 inches. Now, if you've got one of these rulers, like mine, I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? The line of the ruler, right here, I'm gonna get it as close as I can. It doesn't start at the edge of the ruler. So you can't start measuring at the edge. You have to put your paper right here on that line. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put the line there, not the edge of the ruler, because that'll give me the wrong measurement. When I put the line edge right there, I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. You see that? Now we're going to take that measurement and we're going to move our paper to the side like that, and we're going to measure 5.5. Again, I need to be aware that my line starts here. My ruler measuring starts here, not at the end of the ruler. And I'm going to measure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5 inches. The same measurement that I have here, I'm going to put it here. Now, I'm going to slide my ruler down. Slide it down. Once you slide it down, you're going to measure again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. Make another line at 5.5. See that? Now we've got 2 lines at 5.5 inches. The next step is to put the ruler so that it lines up with these 2 lines. See? I'm going to show you again. You're going to put the ruler so that it lines up with this line. Let's make it a little bigger. And this line, just in case you can't see it. Okay, so I'm going to get close to it. I'm going to match it here, and I'm going to match it there. You see them? You see how they're matched? And I'm going to draw a line right down from top to bottom. There's my line. You see? What do I have here in this area right here? It's a square, right? It's a square. Now, if you've run into any trouble, you don't understand, now is a good time for you to stop the video, go back, and start again. And watch me measure, watch me fold, and watch me draw the 2 lines, and then the long line. Okay? But it's not that difficult. But it's okay if you have to go back and do it again. Do it as many times as you need until you understand that we are measuring out in inches. Be careful with these guys. These are centimeters. We're going to use our inches the big ones, and you're going to get 5.5. All right, for those of you who are following along and you're already here, or if you finished, you went back and you came now to this spot. What we're going to do is we're going to leave our paper folded. You see how my paper is folded? And I'm going to cut that line. I'm going to cut it as carefully as I can. I want to follow that line. If you need help, go get mom or dad, whoever can help you. I know you can do it, but if you need real help, ask them to do it. Okay, so this piece right here, we'll leave that for some other project. We'll put that aside. We don't need that. The one we need is this one. Now go ahead and open it. You should have 2 squares and a line down the middle. We're going to cut that line. Are you ready? Let's get our paper and carefully cut that line. And now I have 2 square origami papers. Can you see them? Now they're not perfect like the kind of paper I would get if I were to buy it in a store. But since we're home, right, and we've got to use what we've got, it's a good idea to try to get as close as possible, but not go nuts and think, oh my God, it's not perfect. I'm not going to be able to do it. Now, if you don't have white paper, you only have lined paper, you should wait for this project. You should not do it with lined paper because lined paper has other measurements. So tell mom and dad, listen, I need some white paper. Can we borrow some from a friend? Can we go to the store and buy some? Try to get yourself some white paper. You've got 2 weeks to do this project, so you don't need to have this paper right away. You can watch the video, learn how to do it. You could even practice on some lined paper. But what you really need is white paper that you can fold, measure to 5.5, and get these 2 squares. All right? Okay, now let's get down to the folding part. I'm going to take everything off my desk. I don't need all of these things. I'm just going to need my white paper, and we're going to start folding. All right, so I'm going to grab one. And the first fold I'm going to make is a fold where I turn my paper to the side and I take this corner and I bring it to this corner and then I fold it in half. So I guess you could call this a triangle fold. You see how I put it right at the corner? Try to get it as close as you can to that corner. Don't let it do this. Make sure it's nice and aligned. And then bring your finger down and then fold. You see that? Now, oh my God, look at this problem. I've got extra paper here. It didn't work out right. And then I don't have right paper here. Can you see? And then even my corners, they're not perfect. Is that the end of the world? No, it's not. Keep working. The reason this happens is because this paper is not perfectly square. We cannot, with our hands, cut it perfect. We get close to being perfectly squared, but we're not perfect. And those little mistakes are going to come up, but that's all right. You know, we can deal with that. Plus, if this is your first origami folding project, it's no big deal if we mess it up. There's plenty of paper. We can keep making more. All right, so don't lose hope. All right, now that we've got this fold, I want you to open it up. You see? Now turn it around, and we're going to fold it in the other way. We're going to do the same fold that we did here, but on the side here. Okay? So you're going to do it this way. We're going to match that corner. You see the corner? And we're going to bring our finger down, and we're going to fold it. And if we did it right, when we open it, we should have a cross, a fold X. You see that? So if I fold it this way, if I fold it this way, and then if I fold it this way, it'll work. And then if I fold it this way, it'll work. It should look something like this from the top. Okay, if you're having trouble, go back in the video, go back and start again. Go back, pause it, go back, start again. But if you're here, let's go to the next fold. All right, lay your paper flat. We're gonna fold it from the bottom to the top. gonna match up our corners and our edge here. Do you see it? Once I've got it matched up as close as I can do it, I'm gonna bring my finger down, I'm gonna fold across. You see that? So now when you open it, you've got your X and you've got your line. Now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to turn it around and we're going to go this way now. This way, you see? We did this way, we just did this one. Now we're going to turn it around and we're going to go here. Okay, I'm going to match it up. Bring my finger down. Fold it. So when we open it, we've got our X and our T. All right, I'm gonna ask you to review what you've got. You can stop the video. Remember, you can stop this. You don't have to go as fast as I'm going if I'm going too fast for you. Take your time. Pause, go back, start again if you need to. All right? So just a quick review. We had our open paper. We turned our paper to the edge like this, and we fold it up once. Then we turned our paper around, and we fold it up again, meeting all the corners. 2 triangle folds. They look like triangles, right? And then we opened it up, we put it straight, and then we fold it up to the 2 corners, and then we turned our paper to the side, and up to the 2 corners. Okay, now comes the part where it gets a little more difficult. But let me give you some encouraging words. The first time I did it, I didn't do a good job. The second time I did it, it was all right. The third time I did it, I was getting better. The fourth time I did it perfectly. The fifth time I did it, I could do it with my eyes closed. The sixth time I did it, I was doing 2 at a time. What does that teach you? That teaches you that when you practice, you get better. But you've got to practice. You've got to mess some of them up. If you're not messing some of them up, that means you're not practicing. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. You can make mistakes in the learning process. And accept those mistakes and say, hey, the next time I'm going to do it better. I'm going to rewind that video and I'm going to see it again from the beginning and I want to learn how to do it. Okay? So please do not be discouraged. Mistakes are part of the learning process. All right. So let's go to the hard part. Now, I know I've got some friends and I've got some students that they only need to see things one time and they pick it up. I was not like that growing up. I had to see things 20 times and then I would get it. But the good thing is that once I got it, I got it. Let me show it to you really quick so that you can see the hard part. And then I'll do it slowly. All right? But step number 1 in the hard part is you want to get this corner right here, this little part right here, and you want to bring it to here, to this part. So let's make a little, I'm going to make a little note. I want to get this part right here to the middle. All right, so what I've got to do is I've got to push it down. You see? See how I push it down? Right there like that. And then I want to get this part right here, and I want to fold it to this part right here. Okay? So we'll call that the circle to the circle. All right? So arrow to arrow, arrow to arrow, and circle to circle. And we're going to let it fold like this, see? And then I'm going to bring this down. Bring this down. Okay. Now, did you know that this side also had an arrow? There's an arrow here. You don't have to do the arrow, but if it helps you, if this is something you think you want to do in your project, do it. But you don't have to draw these little arrows. Okay? So let's do it again. Arrow to arrow. Circle to circle. Put that circle here. Okay? Now, look at the arrow, right? Remember our other arrows right here? Can you see it? Okay, so I'm going to bring that arrow. Let me move it over here so you can see it a little better. Can you see it better? See that arrow? I'm going to bring that arrow down to the other arrow. And then from here, do you remember what part I have to bring here? The circle? There's a circle here. I'm gonna bring it to here. And then I've got my fish body. That's my fish body. It's a triangle. You see it? So here's our circle. And here's our circle. All right, let's do it one more time. One more time from the beginning. Okay, you've got all your folds. Arrow to arrow. So it's this corner. You bring it here. You see? I fold again just to make sure it does what it's supposed to. And then circle to circle. I'm gonna bring the circle and fold it. You see how I'm folding it? And I'm gonna match those circles there. I can fold it here. And then I'm gonna bring the arrow, this arrow. I'm holding the paper so it doesn't go away. I'm holding it. And I'm gonna bring this one right here and I'm gonna push it in to meet that arrow. Now remember, this little circle goes to this little circle right here. Can you see it? And bring it down. And then we refold everything. Okay, so that's the hard part. I hope you got it. If you didn't get it, go back, start again. If you mess it up, do it again. You might have to try it 3 or 4 times. You might have to cut more paper. Don't worry, you do it, right? That's your art assignment. That's the art class right now. That's what we're doing. All right, now for the tail. We've got the body, right? The tail's not that hard. Actually, what we're gonna do is, you see how we've got some parts floating up like this? We've got these parts that float up. These are gonna be the tail. So grab half. Don't grab the bottom circle, grab the top one. Okay? And you're gonna bring it over, not to this line, but past the line. Okay, so you see this fold right here? I'm gonna draw a line. Don't draw this line. You do not need to draw these lines. I'm drawing them to help you understand where we're going. You're not gonna fold to this line. Don't do that. Don't do that. You're gonna go further than the line. Okay? You see how I went further than the line? And then you're gonna take the other one, this one right here, the bottom one. See, there's nothing to get here, but there's an extra one here, right? You're gonna get this other circle, and you're gonna fold it as far as you can, as far as this one lets you, over here. You see that? Let's do it again. Let's do it again. All right, so we're gonna fold this guy over here. We're gonna fold him, not to the middle. The middle's there. You're gonna pass the middle. And then we're gonna bring the other circle, and we're gonna fold it over the first one. And make sure you put your finger down on it so that it folds nice. And when you turn it around, you've got your little fish. Okay? You see the fish? Now when you finish, you can draw a little eye. You can draw a little mouth. And you can draw all kinds of things on it. All right, let me show you one I did. Okay, so I did a big one. I'm gonna put this guy here. I did a big one. First, this is one of the ones that I used to learn, one of my learning ones. Okay. This paper is not 5.5. It is actually 8.5 by 8.5. So it's a square too, right? Ooh, I gotta put them back together. Well, I'll put them back together later. Well, actually, you know what? Now that we're here together, let's do it, right? We did this. We did this. And then we did this. And then we folded this guy in, and we folded that guy in. And there's my big fish, right? See how it comes back together? But the one I really, really, really wanted to show you is a little one. Let me get it for you. This is the little one that I made, and I started drawing on it. You see, I started making little drawings. Right now, what do I do once I've got designs on it? Well, remember I talked to you about colors? I got my color pencils. I'm gonna get some color pencils and I'm gonna start coloring it. Now, you can use color pencils, You can use crayons. Some of you like to use markers. I know Mr. G doesn't bring markers sometimes to class, but now is a great time for you to pop out your markers and start coloring using your markers. And I'm going to keep coloring this until I finish. Now, you do not have to color him exactly the way I've colored him. You can make your own colors. You can make your own designs. You can color it all one color. You can put spots. You can, anything you want to do. It's up to you. But please, make a beautiful design on your fish. How many fish are we going to make? Well, I want you to make 3 fish. Now, I haven't finished these. I'm still working on them. I'm going to draw an eye. Maybe I'm going to draw an angry eye on this one. This is going to be the mean one. And he's got teeth. Yeah, he's the bad guy. Right? He's the villain. And he's got sharp patterns. Just to show you how bad he is. And this guy, well, he's going to have glasses. Right? He's going to have glasses and he's going to have a big ear. And he's going to have a funny haircut. I'm going to color that black. Right? Whatever I want to do. Anything you want to do. However you want your fish to look. See, I'm using a pen. You can use a pen. Oh, he's got buck teeth. He's going to be buck tooth. You can make him funny. Alright? He's going to have a jaw there. And he can wear a tie. I'm going to make a tie for him. He's going to be my funny fish, my angry fish, my colorful fish. And I'm going to color them completely. Right? I'm going to work on them now. You want to cut your paper first. Make sure you've got the nice square shape, as accurate as you can. Make sure you've got your ruler. You're able to do that. Once you've got your square, start practicing your folding. If you want to do this, I think it's a good idea. I think you could, if you wanted to, you could cut out not just 2 papers. You can do that cutout procedure, do it like 3 or 4 times. So you can have 8 papers. So you can practice. Don't practice on a regular size printer paper. You've got to cut it down. It's not going to work if you do it without cutting it. Because if it's a rectangle, you're not going to get a fish. You're going to get something else. Please, remember, you should cut it to a square before you start making your origami fish. Now remember, this is just going to be the first lesson on this origami project. So get started. You've got 2 weeks. Do at least 3 origami fish. If you want to do 10 and show me 10, do 10. Great, that's excellent. I'll give you extra credit. But you're going to need at least 3, and they're going to have to be all fully colored. Am I finished? No, but I'm going to start doing this now along with you. So go ahead, get busy, make your origami fish, and I'm going to catch you in the next video. Alright, so keep checking the posts, send me pictures, try to attach a photograph of this into your assignment. Some people were asking me, Mr. T, I can't do it. Well, one good thing that you can do is you can get your phone and you can download the Microsoft Teams app on your phone. And once you take a picture, you can then attach it because the picture already has your phone and you can go through the app on your phone. If not, you would have to take the picture and then mail it to yourself, email the picture to yourself so that you can then attach it using the computer, if that's what you're using. All right, I want to hear from you. Go post some comments in the team forum, questions, concerns, say hi, tell me how much we miss each other, and I'll catch you on the next video.